India's numbers are going from bad to worse. More than 412,000 new cases, the highest number of new infections India has reported in a single day, 412,000 plus. As for deaths, close to 4,000. That's another grim record. Total fatalities in India have now crossed the 230,000 mark, 230,000 people. There are 3.5 million active cases, the second highest in the world. As many as 12 states in India have more than 100,000 positive patients. The recoveries remain steady. More than 329,000 patients recovered in the last 24 hours. In all, more than 17 million people have recovered since last year. What about the peak that was being predicted this week? Well, now experts say it might be weeks away. Like we told you last night, India is now bracing for a third wave, and frankly, it comes as no surprise. Around the world, the pandemic is playing out in cycles. First wave, then a lull, then second wave, and a sudden explosion of cases. The West has been through this. Look at the pattern. In April last year, the United States was reporting more than 32,000 cases per day. Then the curve flattened. But in July, new infections climbed up again. At its peak, the US was reporting more than 70,000 cases in July 2020. That's almost double the number of cases compared to the first wave. After this, America's numbers kept going up. That was the third wave. By January this year, the US was reporting almost 300,000 cases in a day. New infections increased by 9 times. Same with fatalities. During the first wave in April 2020, the US reported more than 2,000 deaths a day. By January 2021, that's around the peak of the third wave, America was reporting around 4,000 deaths in a day. So deaths doubled by the third wave. Now we're in the month of May. The pandemic is on the retreat in America thanks to an aggressive vaccination campaign. By the end of last month, April end, new cases in the US had declined by as much as 26%, and now people can take off their masks in less crowded places. That should give you hope. What about Europe? Look at the graph again. April last year, Europe was reporting around 35,000 new cases a day. This was the first wave. By November 2020, Europe was gripped by the second wave, new infections zooming past 300,000 per day. This was the highest number of daily infections that Europe has reported in this pandemic. We saw new peaks in January and March this year, but the new infections, that figure remained well below the 300,000 mark during these months. What about fatalities? In April last year, Europe reported about 3,000 deaths per day. By the end of November, they crossed 6,000. January 2021, this year, Europe reported around 7,000 deaths per day. Now, Europe too is taming the virus. Restrictions are being lifted. In the last 14 days, new cases in European Union countries have dropped by almost 30%. So how did America and Europe control their surge? Two things: targeted lockdowns and aggressive vaccination. India too needs a mix of these two. As of today, at least 21 states and union territories have imposed restrictions in India. That covers around 81% of the country's population. So India's numbers are not the worst in the world. What's making India's surge the scariest is the shortages, and they're far from over. Now, with the threat of a third wave looming, India needs to ramp up its infrastructure quickly, not just for adults, but also for children, citizens below 18 years of age. They make up 30% of India's population, 30. India has to start thinking about them, about vaccinating them. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.